Good evening. Can you hear me? Anybody can't hear me? Great. Okay, I have a dilemma. It might be easier for me to introduce people who are not distinguished or famous. And I've been asked by the other speakers to excuse them if they don't introduce those that are. I'm going to have a go at it, and I apologise in advance for the great number of people who fall into that category. I distinguish and famous that I have inevitably to omit, otherwise Sydney and Bill will never get on their feet tonight. So can I in particular welcome the Lord Lieutenant Colonel and Mrs. Timmins, the Lord and Lady Mayoress of Manchester, the Mayors and Mayoresses of Salford, Bury and Trafford, MEP, Mr. Gary Tiffley and Mrs. Tiffley, Mr. Ivan Lewis and Mrs. Lewis, the MP for Bury, the Headmistress of Manchester High School, Mrs. Christine Lee Jones, the Chairman of the Governors, Gillian Hush, and can I thank them both for making this wonderful room available to us. And a special word of welcome to the Hamburger and William families. And that brings me to the book itself. I haven't read it. I had a chance of flipping through it quickly, and it left me with just a couple of thoughts. Firstly, how lucky we are to have the history of our small community recorded by such a distinguished scholar as Bill Williams. Now the dust cover does list most of the books he's written, but he wrote initially The Making of Manchester Jury. It was followed by what he describes as a picture book, which carried it into the middle of this century. And now, of course, we have Sydney's biography, so it's almost a comprehensive of the last 200 years of our historical development. My other thought was how lucky I am. 1961 proved to be a landmark year for me. I moved to Manchester, I met my future wife, I began supporting Manchester United, and for the Sydney will develop that, I'm sure. And for the very first time, I became a member of a vibrant Jewish community. I come from Southport. It was a small community with a rotten football team. Now, Jewish Manchester may not be unique, but it works very well. It's not big. It's got a community of about 35,000 people, a constant community which hasn't diminished like virtually every other Jewish community in Great Britain. It works very, very well. It's not big, as I've said. It's large enough to be diverse and reflects many shades of opinion and religious belief. It's large enough to have its own newspaper, but most of all, it provides a structure of support to look after all those people who, for one reason or another, cannot look after themselves. It seems to me to be implicit for an organisation who are set up for that purpose, and there seem to be as many people as you know who will do things voluntarily when people need them. Manchester has also played a critical role in the foundation of the State of Israel, and that's country, survival and prosperity since 1948. Our position in the wider community is reflected by the many distinguished guests I've just referred to, and Manchester's wonderful and positive attitude to all racial minorities. In short, it possesses a community spirit that can only be provided by inspired leadership. Sydney conspicuously has provided that leadership for the last 40 years. Not just for our Jewish community, but more generally. Early on, just after the war, as a dynamic young Labour councillor, then as Mayor of Salford, and as Chairman of the Regional Health Authority, and in so many, many other ways as well. Gentlemen, please don't buy your wife flowers this Rosh Hashanah. Buy the book. It's not just a celebration of Sidley's life, it's a celebration of our lives as well. Make a note about this. It's a golden era for our Jewish people. And there have been few places in the diaspora where one could have enjoyed it better than in Manchester. For some of this at least, we have to thank Sydney. Now, to introduce him formally, can I now call upon my good friend, Leonard Steenberg, who together with his wife Beryl, have so generously supported this occasion.
Mr. Chairman, distinguished guests, reverend gentlemen, Gertrude and Sydney. When Beryl and I and our family arrived as new immigrants in Manchester approximately 22 years ago, we already held British passports, and so we were integrated into life in this community quite quickly. I mention this because although we can now be treated as locals, it's a signal honour for me, an Ulsterman, to introduce my good friend, Sir Sidney Hamburger, to you this evening. This is indeed a red letter day for not only the Manchester Jewish community, but it is also a most significant occasion for the general community to show their love, friendship and respect to Sir Sidney Hamburger and his beloved wife, Lady Gertrude Hamburger. From the moment I first became aware of Sidney, and I now look upon Sidney as a close and dear friend, he has dominated life within this great city. You will appreciate, I'm sure, that my affection and friendship for him stems principally for his dedication and hard work with all things Jewish, not only in Manchester and in England, but he has been a shining beacon in his work for Israel, which we both love so much. I will not attempt to list Sidney's achievements, because they are all well listed in Bill Williams' excellent and sympathetic biography. But I would prefer to say a little about the man. Not only has he managed to develop and run a successful family business, he has been involved in local politics, and far, far worse than that, he's been involved in Jewish politics most of his adult life. I know of no other man well in his 80s who goes into work every day and retains an absolutely clear and astute mind in everyday life, in the many facets of the many organisations to which he belongs, and which in many cases he heads. All this, and raising a family of whom everybody is proud, and who have all followed him in his example of dedicated communal life. They're all chips of the old block. All of this has happened within the strong Jewish traditional background he has espoused all his life, and with his huge love for Israel, as well as all the finer points of British life. Going to Israel several times a year with the family has given Sydney a perspective on Jewish life and Israel, which Bill Williams has neatly encapsulated. But Sydney in action over the years in JIA, now UJIA, had to be seen to be believed. He has always led from the front, in presence, in his own family's giving, and in making inspiring speeches which give all who heard them the impetus to do greater and better things, to raise more money and to give more in time and in commitment. Sydney has been the driving force, the catalyst for so many different causes I could not list them. Suffice to say, there is hardly any good cause that Sydney has not helped with time, with money, and with advice. And in all these years, Gertrude has been by his side. He is, without doubt, the man of our Manchester generation, and his role as our lay leader adds lustre to the community he loves. Sad to say, with all these great qualities, he doesn't back horses. But I buy light fittings. Anytime you want to chat to Sydney, to ask his advice, or just to hear a few stories, he is more than happy to oblige. He is a great raconteur, and doubtless he will have one or two gems for us this evening. It takes a special man to have all these qualities, and still in his 85th year, he likes to drive himself to Searchlight. And that's despite the fact that I personally found a chauffeur for him. The nachas he gives to his family is beyond comprehension, and having attended many of the Hamburger symphonies, I know full well the honour and covet given to him, and really, Sydney is a modest man. But he deserves all of this and more. We, as his friends, colleagues, and communal leaders, have had our lives enriched by knowing him and being with him. As we come to the holiest time of our year, may we wish you a Shana Tova, good health, happiness always, and may you continue to give help and advice wherever it's needed. May your wisdom continue to be used for the good of our city and our community, and may this night be yet another chapter in an outstanding career of public service.
Mr. Chairman, Lord Lieutenant, civic leaders, dear friends. To say that I'm overwhelmed by the generosity of Leonard and Jack is really an understatement, because although I'm a toughie on the outside, inside, like so many other people, like the Sabras of Israel, in the middle of it all, there's a soft streak. And it's that soft streak that reacts to occasions like this. When you sit surrounded by your family, you sit honoured by distinguished members of the Anglo and Manchester Jewish community and the wider community. And you really say to yourself, how lucky I am, the Almighty preserved me in good health to be able to celebrate this great occasion. Many years ago, a very distinguished Methodist politician by the name of Tony Pandy had come to Manchester for a meeting, and he was at our house regaling my grandchildren with stories of his life. And then he told us all of a very interesting occasion, an occurrence. He said that when he was a little boy, of about 12, and they lived in the valleys of South Wales, his father had died from the pit disease years before. There was poverty in the home, and young George came home one Saturday afternoon and proudly showed his mother a sixpence in his hand. She said to him, "George, where did you get that from?" And George said, "Well, you know, Mum, Mr. Cohen, the Jew down the road, is not permitted by his religion to light a fire on Saturday. So I've arranged with him that every Saturday in future I'll go to his home and I'll light his fires for him, and for this I'll get sixpence a week." George thought that this was something which would earn the approval and approbation of his mother. Instead of which, he says, she said to him, "Wait till Sabbath is out, George, and I'll tell you what we're going to do." As soon as Sabbath was out, she got him by the scruff of the neck, took him down to Mr. Cohen's house, and said to George, "George, I want to tell you something, and I hope that you will never forget it all the years of your life." She said, "Nobody is permitted to make money out of somebody else's observance of their religion and their traditional beliefs. I commend you for what you did for Mr. Cohen, and I encourage you to go on week after week lighting his fires for him. But you will never do it for money. You will do it out of the goodness of your heart." That story that he told must now be 70, 80 years old. But I've never forgotten the high moral standard and ethics which he displayed in what would be described as poor economic circumstances, and yet one who was determined that her child's moral upbringing should not reflect merely the question of materialism, but rather self-sacrifice on the material side, so that somebody else could observe all the benefits of their traditional religion. And as I pondered on that story, my mind went back to the year and that famous speech of the President of the United States, Kennedy, who in his inaugural speech, in a similar sense and a similar characteristic mode of service to others, said to those young Americans who were listening to him, "Do not say to your country, 'My country, what can you do for me?' Rather say, 'My country, what can I do for you?'" We are living today in a world, in a society and a civilization where I wish that the principles that only Tony Pandy's mother had adumbrated for him and later repeated by Kennedy in that historic moment could have been translated to a much wider society. Because we live in a world where the Almighty takes decisions which are not always kind and which are not always clear to us. And yet if we look into some of the holy books, there is one phrase that we read so often. It is when we as a community suffered years and years ago, the Almighty said to his people, he said, for a short moment I closed my eyes on you, but then when I opened them, it was with great joy and great happiness. I say that because those of us who have lived through the post-war era and saw what happened in those days of tragedy for our people, know on how many occasions we said, where is God? And the theologians answered with the question, not where was God, but where was man? Because when we came out of the war at the end of 45, we destroyed fascism, we destroyed Hitlerism, we destroyed Germany, we poured havoc over South Europe and Italy, and we never thought in our wildest dreams that in our lifetime again, that sort of devastation and social and material destruction could take place. And yet if you read the morning papers, if you listen today to the media, you find Kosovo, fading mind back to Vietnam, you think of the tragedies that are occurring at this very moment in Indonesia. And we say, what sort of a world is it in which we are living? Why is it that although there is such inherent goodness in each of us, when it comes to interrelationships, we just cannot behave in a manner that is decent and worthy of the God-inspired life with which we were blessed? I recall the words of the Emeritus Chief Rabbi on his induction in the House of Lords. And when he was thanking the movers of his office, he spoke and said something like this. He said, I thank you, I thank the divine providence, and I thank the social and Christian atmosphere of this great country in which I have been brought up. I stand before you today, the representative of an ancient people. But had I not had that luck, I might today have been but a speck of earth floating on the soil of Europe, the largest crematorium that the world has ever known. So we really have so much as Jews to be thankful for. And when I think of all the colleagues that I've had outside my own community, and I think that I've worked together with them in peace and harmony, whether it's in politics, whether it's fundraising, whether it's charitable work, whether it's a social atmosphere, I lift up my eyes to the heavens and thank the Almighty, and I think those human beings with whom I've come into contact, because they were the ones who enabled me to live this sort of life. You know, one of the greatest short phrases that it's more the phrase, it's a sentence, was the obligation that man has to his neighbour. If you stand by and see persecution, if you see cruelty, and you do nothing about it, you are as much a party to to what events are taking place, as if you had in your own hand the gun or the knife. And I think of Pastor Niemoller and what he said when his time for judgment came. These words will live on. He said, first they came for the Jews, and I didn't speak out because I wasn't Jewish. Then they came to the communists, and I didn't speak out because I was not a communist. Then they came to the trade unionists and the Catholics, but I didn't speak out because I was not a trade unionist or a Catholic. He said, then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me. If ever we as a society and a civilization need a moral on which to pin our ethos, it surely must be the collective responsibility that each and every one of us has, if you see your neighbour in trouble, to lend a hand and to do something to help. At the moment, there are great debates taking place on the media in the House of Commons and elsewhere on the question of morals and morality. My friends, sitting here in this hall of a great educational establishment which has so wonderful a history and so challenging a future, I pause and think that with all the advances of science and technology, with all the achievements that we have, though we have been able to fly like the birds in the air, to swim like the fish in the sea, we still haven't learned to live like human beings next to each other. And that is why it's so important that the politicians ought to stop debating the issue. What really matters is what is the example that they, the society that they live in, and the society which they represent, behaves, and what example it gives to the rest of the world. I want to just pause for a moment and talk about the fear that human beings have of each other at times that they have no need to, because of pressures that are quite unfairly brought to bear on them. I remember the year I was mayor, I was sitting in the parlour one night when the two major parties were having a caucus meeting to decide policy for the following day. One of the most distinguished Labour aldermen, a woman who has buildings named after her in Salford today, came down to see me and said, Sid, I'm in terrible trouble and I don't know what to do. I said, what's the matter? She said, they, that was the opposition, have got an amendment down which is infinitely better and more valuable to society than the resolution I have to move on behalf of the party. She said, I've asked for permission to accept the amendment. She said, and the party have threatened me with expulsion if I do. And I thought how nauseating it is in a society where you are given brains to think, where you are given the opportunity to have an independence of mind, that you dare not take up the opportunity in that way. What happened, I don't know. Let me move off that philosophical backcloth that I've been talking about and deal with some of the stories that Leonard said might be useful. Sitting in this room this evening, there is a young Catholic minister who years ago, when he was being installed in his church, invited Gertrude and I to attend the service. We were the only Jewish people there. But this didn't stop Monsieur Jean Allen from making sure that Celia Klein did the catering on that occasion in order to make sure that we had kosher food. Unless you think that it's only at that level that people worry, let me remind you that when we were then invited to Buckingham Palace by the Queen and ate off that gold crockery and cutlery, that the caterer there brought in was a Jewish caterer, and in the full panoply and glory and crystal chandeliers, if only we could have sold them to them. At Buckingham Palace, again, the Queen had gone to the trouble of making sure that there was kosher food available for us. And these are just the sort of the idiosyncratic behaviour that we have to observe, but where I've always found complete understanding by the wider world in which we operate. My council friends knew when I was becoming the mayor, I couldn't go to meetings, I couldn't attend council meetings, I couldn't travel on Shabbat, and worst of all, as Leonard said, I couldn't go to United either. I actually was hoping to set up a Jewish equivalent of your sign-off, Bishop, to see whether they could alter the rules for me. But actually, it was amazing the way the Almighty works. He then arranged for Sky to do the games on Sunday afternoon, so we don't have to worry about getting tick rate on Saturday, because he's worked it all out for us over there. Friends, I've never felt at any moment in my life a sense of embarrassment at being Jewish. And never for one moment in my life have I felt a sense that I was ashamed or doing something wrong or improper in the atmosphere in which I found myself. Because everywhere there was a sense of understanding, a sense of appreciation, and a sense of religious tolerance and understanding. We approached the New Year, as Leonard has said, and I'm going to tell you the story of a dear friend of mine, the emeritus Bishop of Salford, Bishop Holland. Bishop Holland was once driving down the road on Berry New Road. He saw me in the car with my grandchildren, and although it happens to be Christmas Day, the busiest day in the year, possibly, I think, Bishop, I'm not authority on the subject. He stopped the car, he got out, and he said, "Simply, I want to talk to your grandchildren, I want to give them a blessing." And there he did, in Berry New Road there. Some time later, I talked to him about Jewish New Year. And I said to him, "Bishop, do you know anything about the Jewish ceremony of Tashlich?" He said, "I don't know anything about it in detail." He said, "But as I was a priest in the East End of London, I have some knowledge of it." Tashlich, by the way, I'm sure everybody knows it, so just for the purpose of reminding myself, Tashlich is a prayer recited on the first afternoon of the New Year. It's recited except on Sabbath, and you go to the side of running waters in order to cast your sins there, and they are then carried down to the sea. And I said to the bishop, I said, "Well, look, it's only 2 or 3 weeks now to our New Year. If you're in the neighbourhood on such and such a day, come along to the house. There's a lake behind where we live, and you can come in and see what happens." Well, New Year came, and we were in the house. And one of my grandchildren who's sitting here tonight suddenly said to me, "Grandpa, what's happening?" So I said, "Why? What's the matter?" She said, "Look." And I looked into the drive of the house, and there is a big black limousine drawing up on the first afternoon of Rosh Hashanah. Out there steps a very distinguished looking cleric wearing a big purple yarmulke cape and a cross in front of him hanging down from the chain. And she said to me, "Grandpa, what is it? Who is he and what is it?" I was able to explain to her that this was a Christian bishop who came along. He came along, he sat down, he talked to us, he prayed with us. But as he writes in his book, on page 241 of his autobiography, those of you who know Rabbi Chazan will know that he never quotes without telling you what page and what line it is. So I thought I'd do the same thing. He then writes and said that he recalls this afternoon of the Jewish New Year, when together with his good friend Sidney Hamburger, we walked to the side of running waters and holding hands recited the same prayers to the same God in our own different tongues. And together we prayed that the sins might be carried on. And I thought, here again is a wonderful example of the true ecumenicalism that we are practicing, for which we are blessed in our time and in the way our life is going on. Let me tell you the story of the time I was mayor at Salford. We went round to all the schools, and when we went to one of the schools in Oxford, there was an aggressive little lad sitting on the front row, and when I said to him, "Well, you can all ask questions," he turned to me and he said, "Mr. Mayor, I want to ask you something." Yeah. What is it? He said, "What's your chain made out of?" "Made out of gold." "Is it worth a lot of money?" So I said, "Yes." He said, "My mother says you ought to give it away to the poor. You don't want a gold chain round there, do you?" So I said, "Well, it's a fault of your mother." I said, "Look, we have to have a gold chain to show our civic responsibility and the city." I said, "You ever rotten all of it?" And my mother said, "You know what it is for what you get out of it." He said, "Don't you do anything for nothing?" He said, "You know like that." And then he was running all about his mother and his mother and his mother. So what I said to him, I said, "You really can't spend all afternoon talking about your mother, God bless her." I said, "I'll invite you round to the town hall all afternoon and we'll sit down and we'll talk about civic events and everything like that." Not long ago, knock comes on the door. This head comes round the door and he said, "Mr. Mayor," he said, "you know, you invited me round." And I said, "Yes." He said, "Well, I've come to tell you what my mother says." So I said, "Get out of here." 1968 was a memorable year for Gertrude and I because it was the year of our mayoralty. And as you all know, Christmas occurs at the end of December. The Jewish festival of Hanukkah, the ceremony of lights, takes place within almost a matter of days. And during the period of the Jewish festival, we went into Bexley Square, and whilst my Christian friends stood and recited their prayers and acknowledged the presence of their Messiah and the lights of their Christmas tree, we went inside and there lit our Jewish Hanukkah candles in the town hall, and we were there permitted to recite in our tongue, in our religious atmosphere, our prayers of thanks to the Almighty. And I feel that the more I go through life, the more I see this parallelism of the religions and the fact that if men and women are really decent, then there is so much good and kindness and benevolence in the world. You know, Salford has had a rough time when I speak as a mayor. When we came out of the army in 1945, there was a campaign called Clean Up Salford, and by God, it didn't really need it. We had a population of 230,000, we had an acreage of 5,000, most of it taken up with roads and railways and pubs and things like that. And we really never dreamed that there would be anything else except that city. But you know, we're told somewhere in one of our prayers, you are compelled to complete the work, but that is no permission to abstain from starting it. And when I look at Salford today, I look at Salford Quays, I look at what Trafford are doing for Lowry on the borders there, I look at the developments that are taking place. I say that none of us who came out of the army and fought and saw the Salford of those years would ever have dreamed this was the sort of place that ultimately we would live. My friends, I'm going to come to an end because Bill, of course, has to speak about the book. I just want to tell you just two other things. One is about Prince Charles, because he doesn't always enjoy a good press. I was taking Prince Charles round during the time I was chair of the Regional Health Authority, and I had to take him to Calderstone, which was one of our large mental health hospitals. We were walking round, and those of you who have occasionally occasional work to go around there know what it is like. The social habits of the people there into the highest order. And whilst the Prince of Wales is there walking along, there's a lot of people touching him and stroking his face and getting his clothes and everything like that. And quite honestly, one could have excused him or any of us had we decided that it was really time to cut the visit short and get back as quickly as we can. One of his equerries came up to him and said, "Your Royal Highness, it's now 12:25. You're due to have sherry with the VIPs at 12:30. Do you think we can move on a little bit?" And Prince Charles turned to me as his chairman and host on the occasion, and he said, "Look," he said, "I don't mind spending a little time longer with these people here." He said, "They'll never see royalty again as long as they live. And I can easily have a sherry at some other time with these people." Well, I thought he was going to be the King of England, you see, soon, so I didn't have the argument with him. So I said, yes. So I said, "Yes, we'll carry on just as you want, the Royal Highness." We went on, it was getting towards 1 o'clock, and the equerry came up to him and said, "Your Royal Highness, you're due to have lunch at 1 o'clock. Do you think we might move on and cut out the rest of that?" And he turned to me again, and he said, "Mr. Chairman," when he went into the big marquee, he said, "Mr. Chairman," he said, "look," he said, "I've seen the top table." He said, "Lord Lieutenant, mayors, mayoresses, town clerks, clerics." He said, "I've met every one of these people half a dozen times." He said, "This afternoon I'll probably meet again when I go to their own particular boroughs." He said, "Would you be greatly upset if I stood in the floor with you, with a plate in my hand, and we walked round and we met the voluntary workers so that they too can say that on the occasion of the visit of His Royal Highness, they had a hand in it and participating in what was going on?" I readily agree, and this is really a side of his life that people don't know. This is the last story I'm going to tell you. Long before Salford was being redeveloped, I was chairman of town planning in the late 40s, and we'd already dreamed of a riverside walk at the side of Salford of Hurwell. It was a dream that nobody ever thought was going to have any chance of coming true. But we pursued it, we worked on it, we had engineers there, and we wrote many, many papers, and I presented an article for consideration by the council at one of its council meetings. And that night, as I was going home, the then reporter, who was covering for the evening news and the Manchester Guardian, said to me, "Quite good that speech this morning, Steve," he said, "I'll see what sort of a write-up I can get for you." Following morning, I hadn't yet seen the paper, but I met him in the town hall. A man was called Sol Rees, and he said, "Sid," he said, "I want to tell you something very interesting." He said, "When I sent the notes in about your speech yesterday," he said, "the editor of the Guardian sent for me, and he said to me, he said, 'Sol,' he said, 'that fellow young Hamburger,' he says, 'I think there's something good going in about him.' He says, 'I think he'll develop into a good politician.' He says, 'I think you ought to start making the notes for his obituary.'" Can I end by saying to everybody who is here, I'm appreciative of your friendship. There's nobody in this room who I don't call my friend. Somebody once said, "There's no such thing as strangers, they're all friends that you haven't yet met." That's how I feel today about everybody who is here and with whom I've had an association over the years. So please, those of you, put yourself into that category. So Gertrude, I don't believe really in making public declarations of love. When you're 85 already, you know, it's often very hard to do it. If you haven't proved it by then, there's something wrong, you haven't proved it by then. But I just want to say that she's really had a lot to put up with, and I want her and I want the children to know really how much I've had support from her and from the family. And the last group I want to talk about, two if I may, are second-line officers of public authority. The Duke of Devonshire tells the story that whenever his late father was ill, he always said to his family, find out who is the best consultant and don't get him. I want a fellow who's just below him. He said, the best man has already achieved his mark in life. He's got nothing to strive for. And he said, this is how I feel, you know, when I'm doing anything with you now. So whenever I feel that we have to sort of go out and get the thing, it's always the next to the top that I'm after. If I want to try and get an appointment for somebody with the Lord Lieutenant, the real person who wields the power before I get to the Lord Lieutenant is the man who decides what he's going to do with my letter. If I'm not the Mayor of Salford and I'm writing for somebody from the Mayor of Salford, it's somebody in that office who decides it. I'm chairman of Ash, and somebody once told me that the most important office in Granada offices is the man who owns the post. Because if he happens to be an anti-smoker, all forest publicity goes in the bin. So you see, it isn't a case of who you know, of what you know, it's who you know. So to this group of individuals, each of whom has been so kind and so helpful, a special word of thanks. And to each and every one of you, let us hope and pray, please God, that if Phil has time in the next 5 years, we can do another book when I'm 90.
Everything Leonard and I said about Sydney has been fully vindicated by that wonderful address. The only thing was we just wondered whether Sydney's anxiety to get closer to his audience would actually fall into it. So I'm moving the podium back to where it was. Leonard had lost his bet. He didn't fall into the audience. And one wonderful thing about Sydney's students, and he started celebrating early, is he actually made some notes for us. Those of you who have seen Sydney speak before realise that he never makes notes. It's a compliment to Balfour in the evening that he has them. He didn't look at them quickly. It's my great pleasure to introduce Bill Williams. The most remarkable thing about Bill is that his knowledge of our religion came to him late in life. His commitment to our history is a great compliment to us all. Ladies and gentlemen, Bill Williams.
Mr. Chairman, Sir Sidney, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Until the publication of this biography, I felt that my work as a historian was relatively safe. For the most part, I've written about a distant past. I have recorded and interpreted events so remote that no one can remember them. I've written about people who couldn't answer back. Writing this biography has been a very different experience. It is about a man happily very much with us, and about events in which many people in this room were participants. It refers to such well-remembered events as the creation of Heathlands and Manchester's dramatic response to the Six-Day War. And it is about people, and one person in particular, who can answer back. In this sense, although I take full responsibility for what I have written, the biography has emerged from a rare and increasingly close dialogue between a biographer and his subject, sometimes literally, in the form of taped interviews, but also in many separate conversations stretching over the last 5 years and touching upon many different events. I've also been able to speak to many people who have known Sydney, some of them present tonight, and to others involved in those events with which he was associated. Locally, I spoke to people like Ralph Fruit, with his incomparable knowledge of local Zionism, to my late good friend Monty Dobkin, with his unmatched expertise in local history. Nationally, I spoke to a range of figures who played a part in Sir Sidney's life, from His Grace the Duke of Devonshire, in whose back garden of Chatsworth trees were planted to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the Jewish state, our former Chief Constable, Sir James Anderson, Monsignor John Allen, and Rabbi Dr. Louis Jacobs, who knew Sir Sidney from the earliest stage of both their careers. I thank them all. Such conversations were essential, for far from being self-indulgent in talking about his achievements, Sidney's modesty is such that they had to be dragged out of him. When I thought I had finally finished the book, and I had dealt with all of the events with which he'd been associated, I got a call from Dr. Sidney Babel. Have you talked to Sir Sidney about New Hillel House? I hadn't. I hadn't realised that he had been chairman of a building committee which has brought about the creation of the New Hillels. And then I thought, right, okay, now I've dealt with everything. Until I had another phone call from Helen Adamstern. Have you talked to Sir Sidney about Soviet Jewry? I hadn't. He hadn't told me. Typically, he hadn't told me of his key role as chairman of the Manchester Council for Soviet Jewry. Even then, there was more to learn. Jerry Freeman rang me and asked me if I had spoken to Sir Sidney about his work for Lithuanian Jewry. With every conversation, the book grew in length and in substance. But now, hopefully, Sir Sidney, it is a complete account of your life. So, ladies and gentlemen, if on reading the book, you see an obvious gap and say to yourself, I must ring Bill Williams and tell him about it, don't. Being so close to and writing a biography of someone who's still alive presented me with some difficulty, particularly about possibly a tension between what I wanted to write as an historian and what I was urged by others, including Sir Sidney himself, to say about him. I received a warning from my good friend David Cesarani, who has recently written a highly critical biography of Arthur Koestler. And I was told that perhaps I was too close to my subject for objectivity. He pointed out, and you will read this, that I had referred to him in the early part of the book as Sidney rather than as Hamburger. And wasn't this too close, so to speak, for comfort? Only detachment, David told me, would enable me to tell the whole truth and make my own critical judgment. And was I not also relying too closely on the opinions of Sidney's close friends and associates? In reality, I found no such difficulty. It is yet another symptom of Sir Sidney's high principles that he has not attempted to influence my judgments or to shape in any way whatever what I have written about him. There has been no censorship. There are no skeletons that have been hidden away in the communal cupboards. Not that I didn't look for them, as a biographer must, or give my interviewees the opportunity, if they wished, to talk about the dark side of Sir Sidney. None of them did. Finally, in exasperation, I turned to our former Chief Constable, Sir James Anderson. Surely, said Jim, something, if not a mugshot in the police vaults, a fine for speeding in Deansgate, a parking ticket for Bletchley Square? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. There is no dark side to Sir Sidney Hamburger. He is what he seems to be, a man of immense integrity and high moral purpose in his public as much as in his private life. A man whose whole life reflects his principles. Another consequence of having my subject still alive is that the book records, so to speak, an unfinished symphony. Sir Sidney is more than a historical phenomenon, and we must not see him in any way in that sense. He remains actively involved in communal life. He is still rightly seen as the community's leader and its representative in the wider society. And the book is as much about leadership as it is about Sir Sidney himself. Little happens in the Manchester Jewish community of which he is not a part, or on which his advice is not sought. He's not a figurehead. He's not a wooden titan. He is involved at a practical and routine level in communal events. When I invited him some year or so ago to be president of the new project, the Shoah Centre, he was prepared to agree on only one condition: that his presidency was more than symbolic, that he participated in the routine affairs of the centre. And this he has done. And it is with his active support that a Shoah Centre will emerge on Trafford Wharf in 5 or so years' time, to the immense credit and prestige of Manchester Jewry and to the immense benefit of society as a whole. Those very few people now who doubt the benefit of having a Shoah Centre dealing with the Holocaust in Manchester should actually read today's Guardian, because as Sir Sidney pointed out, even in the front pages of today's papers, we hear that the lessons of the Holocaust have not been learned. Here's an account on the front page of today's Guardian of events in East Timor, in Indonesia, of the chaos and the slaughter that is happening there. And I will read you just one paragraph from that report. One column of 2,000 women and children was seen being marched to an unknown destination by soldiers armed with machine guns who kicked and hit stragglers with their guns. What sorrow that must evoke in an audience like this, with its memory of the Holocaust. And what anger. The Shoah Centre is intended to provide another opportunity for the Jewish people to use their history to teach the world the meaning of morality and justice. In this respect too, Sir Sidney is a rare person. He is a doer. He is a maker in a genuine sense. He not only values ideas, he can bring them to fruition. All of which is also to say that what you have, the book that you have, is Volume 1. As Sir Sidney has rightly said, Volume 2, with a further 300 pages, is due to appear, please God, in time for his 90th birthday. Sir Sidney's achievements recorded in this volume are immense, even in summary. As leader of the Labour Group, Chairman of Town Planning and Finance, and Mayor of Salford, his role was absolutely central to the first stage in the remaking of Salford in the post-war years, in turning a blitzed and battered city full of obsolescent and foul slums into a modern conurbation, fit for a population which he has never ceased to admire. As chairman of the Northwestern Regional Health Authority, he has been a key figure in the reconstruction of the health service of the region. And more importantly, and this perhaps is hidden from public view, as the man who sought to ensure in difficult and painful negotiations with the Treasury and its agents that the region received its fair share of government funds. within the community, his role was vital to the creation of Heathlands Village, surely the finest home for the elderly in Western Europe. As a committed Zionist, he is in the tradition of the Manchester School of Klein Weitzman, to which his family is linked by marriage through the Massells, in the way that the Manchester School worked to persuade the British government to issue the Balfour Declaration and commit itself to a Jewish homeland in Palestine. Sidney has spent his life ensuring that the British government kept its promise and that the Manchester community remained a central focus of world Zionism. Zionism is a central component of Sidney's identity, and his life, it seems to me, is an exemplary example of the falsehood, the absurdity of accusations of dual loyalty that are occasionally levelled at the Jewish people. His life is a model of how to combine complete and absolute commitment to the well-being and progress of the Jewish state with an equally total commitment to the city of Salford and to the region. He is a fervent Zionist on the one side, but as one of my interviewees said, he is also a Salford man through and through. And one is inclined to add, as other speakers have done, to this list of achievements, etc., etc., etc. It is impossible to summarize and to list the range of achievements of this man. Any one of those achievements would be for most mortals a valuable life's work. Their cumulative effect marks him beyond any doubt as a man of true greatness. What lies behind these achievements? Did he enjoy the exercise of power for its own sake? Was he no more in the community than a super macher? Fond in the macher tradition of status and acclaim? Was he a man in the city, no more than a skillful machine politician, carried away by his ability as an orator and as a committee man to manipulate men and events? Quite definitely, he was neither of these things. His politics, communal and civic, were rooted in morality. Political power for Sir Sidney was a means of achieving moral ends. And these ends also were rooted in religious convictions, in the teachings of Judaism. In fact, you might almost summarize his career by saying that he brought Judaism to bear on the problems of humanity, to the eternal credit of his religion and to the great benefit of the people of the region. But to think of the religious roots of his politics, his idealism, is not to say that he was not also a very able politician on the ground floor of politics, in the boxing rink of politics, so to say. One difficulty running through all my conversations with Sir Sidney has been his own understatement of his achievements and his abilities. In his politics, civic and communal, the implication of his testimony to me has almost been that success was a matter almost of genial bonhomie and good fortune. Tell me another. Bonhomie does not hold together a city labour group containing some of the most querulous and extreme revolutionary hotheads who ever operated in red soil. Some of it is said even more extreme than Sir Sidney's biography. Good fortune does not hold together a Jewish community riven by internal divisions and competing matters. Luck does not raise millions for communal causes. Goodwill does not persuade the miserable grey suits of the British Treasury to devote more than they would wish to the health of the Northwest region. His range of political skills is actually formidable. As an orator, as a negotiator, as a mediator, a committee man, a fundraiser, a knocker together of heads, a planner, a financial wizard, a man skillful with the use of imagery, far, far in advance of the spin doctors of the Blair government, and his capacity to unite the most unlikely people in common causes. Such qualities are open to misuse and notoriously in the 20th century have been misused. To the good fortune of the Jewish people and the people of Salford and minority communities throughout Britain, these skills have been harnessed not for personal ambition, but to the benefit of others. His was a balance, again, only too rare in politics, between practical skills and high ideals, between morality and power. And high on the scale of those ideals has been that of racial harmony, for which he has worked consistently in all his capacities. He has sought Christian-Jewish reconciliation, and the friends present at this meeting are a mark of his success. He has sought respect for every racial minority in British society. Any minority in Britain, or elsewhere for that matter, has two major problems: how to protect its distinctive inner life, and how to participate fully in the majority society. These are the objectives which the Sydney has worked for Manchester Jewry. On the one side, for respect for the integrity of Jewish life, and on the other, for access for the Jewish people to all sectors of British society. His own life is exemplary in this respect. He has remained both fully Jewish and faithful in minutiae to the Jewish tradition and culture, while forging an honoured place for himself in the life of the majority. And he expects and has conveyed the message that he expects other Jewish people to do the same. And in this subtle interweaving of assertion and integration, he has set an example for those minorities which have followed the Jews to Manchester. By his precept and by his example, he has demanded total respect for minority experience in Britain. The simple, unadorned truth about Sir Sidney is that he is a good man. A man of unsullied honesty, of personal generosity, a man, as many of us know, who cares for others through thick and thin, a man utterly devoted to a family and to a wife upon whose work in the home and the family his own achievements are based. And perhaps this is the time also to pay tribute to Lady Hamburger, who, quite apart from being a strong woman and a wonderful wife, mother, grandmother, has also herself been a participant in Manchester Jewish history, who herself has been involved in welfare within the Jewish community, and who herself propagated Zionism in Prestwich when Prestwich was Echvel, on the edge of the Jewish world. Sir Sidney is a man, as I have learned over the last 5 years, who is good to be with and good to work with, a man whom I now regard as a friend. A man, ladies and gentlemen, who deservedly commands my and our unreserved admiration. His life has been an honour to his religion, to his city, and to his community. He has been sufficiently incautious, however, to place that life in my hands. I trust only that I have not betrayed that trust. Thank you.
I'm a little bit overwhelmed listening to Bill. He once taped an interview with my father many years ago, and Dad's been dead for about 5 years. The museum found it and gave it to me a few weeks ago, and it's something very special. And so indeed, Bill, just speak. Thank you very much. finally, and she deserves the last word, Joy is going to sum up. She has been the creator of this evening. She really runs the Balfour Trust. Jo and I just turn up, hopefully on cue. And she is creating something which I believe will be very much worthwhile, as this evening has proved. Jo.
Ladies and gentlemen, as Jack has said, I have the privilege of having the last word. And what a last word it needs to be tonight, because indeed we have had a veritable feast from two of the most special people in the Manchester community. What a team, Sidney Hamburger and Bill Williams. You couldn't ask for better. The clearest leader of the Jewish community, and a man who I once wrote when I was writing a piece about him just before his 65th birthday. I said, what makes a Welsh-born Catholic make the history of the Manchester Jewish community and the wide dissemination of the message of the Holocaust his life's work? I still haven't found the answer, Bill, but we are so grateful to you, and we owe you the most enormous debt of gratitude, because you, single-handed, have done more to record our history, to raise our profile, and are now working for the Shoah Centre, which hopefully will come to fruition. And knowing your track record in bringing the Jewish Museum to fruition, I have no doubt that together with Sidney and your committee, you will succeed. You've done a fantastic job with this book. You've done justice to our favourite citizen, and we thank you very much for that. Hosted this evening, thank you for your generosity. You know, there are plenty of people who can afford to do things, who sit back and let other people do it. Leonard and Beryl, in a quiet way, do so much for this community, for the wider community, and we again are grateful to them. It is indeed fortunate that you chose this evening to sponsor for the Balfour Trust, and it has, I hope, turned out to be something that you will have been proud to have been associated with. Thank you very much indeed. I'd like to say thank you to Mrs. Lee Jones for the use of the school, and to Gillian Hush, the chairman, and to Mr. Abbott, the administrator, who has made us so welcome here. It's been a most wonderful venue. And it's so appropriate because the school has its own little bit of Jewish history. Bill will probably correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was Rebecca Steve who went to the school and other members of the family who actually were. And I feel that if they were looking down tonight, they would very much approve of us being here. And so Sidney has asked me on his behalf, and he will sign it and so will Bill, to present a copy of the book for the school library for you in appreciation. So that will be there for you. For his admirable chairmanship. He is right, he does give me my head, he lets me get on with it, and that's the way I like it, Jack. And when the day comes that we argue, I'll win the argument, I'm sure. But thank you very much for the support that you give and for the support that you are giving to the Balfour Trust. It is a very worthwhile thing that we're trying to do in promoting things of Jewish and Israeli interest in the arts, and we'll hopefully continue to do so. And we're grateful to those of you who support us, and we look forward to your support in the future. And now to the man of the moment. I have a message for you. I have a message to read to you, Sidney, and I have a telephone message to convey to you. The telephone message came from the Duke of Devonshire, who would have very much liked to have been with you tonight, but unfortunately had to be in London, and sent you his very best wishes. I have another message that I'm going to read, and it reads, It is with much pleasure that I send my congratulations to Sir Sidney Hamburger on the publication of his biography. The fact that it has been written by Bill Williams, a man who has done more than any other to record the history of Manchester Jewry, makes this a double cause for celebration. Sir Sidney is a remarkable man who has an unparalleled record of service to both the Jewish and wider community. He is a fine example of someone who has gained the respect of all and played a full and distinguished role in many areas of civic and communal life. Evidence of the impact he has made will be seen by the number of civic and communal leaders, together with many people he has worked with over the years, who will gather to pay tribute to him at this launch. Everything Sir Sidney has achieved has been against the background of being a devoted family man. I know it gives him great pleasure to have his dear wife Gertrude, his children and grandchildren with him on this special occasion. Thanks to Bill Williams, the life of this unique and selfless man has been recorded for all time, and history will show him to be among the most outstanding characters of not only the Manchester community, but of Anglo Jewry. I send him, his family and friends, and everyone present at the gathering, my warm wishes for a Shalom Tova. May Sir Sidney look forward to many more years of continuing his valued endeavours, and may he be blessed with good health, contentment and fulfilment. Jonathan Sachs, Chief Rabbi. That I've learned from Sir Sidney is that you never throw anything away. Sir Sidney has this remarkable flair of bringing out just the right thing at just the right time on the right occasion, something that somebody has said, something that somebody has done. Well, that really accounts for the fact that I am absolutely inundated with papers at home and don't know what to do with them. But two of them, as I was moving home recently, came in exceptionally useful, and I have them with me tonight. One is a brochure that was a light to the community, and that was on Sidney's 70th birthday. The other is a brochure when on his 80th birthday it was devoted to Jewish education. And not only have we had the benefit of Sidney the man, but we as a community have had the benefit of his generosity, because whenever he's had anything to celebrate, he has wanted others to benefit from it. And therefore there are many organisations that have benefited from Sir Sidney's generosity. And I'm sure, Joshua, you wouldn't mind me saying that one of the kick-start factors as far as King David's School was concerned, and the wonderful job that you have continued to do for it, was this 80th birthday celebration when Sidney allowed it to be used for fundraising and helped you. That is Sidney all over. He does it for others all the time. I'm sure as you look out at this audience, you more or less have seen your life mirrored here. Certainly as I've been going through the invitees list, I've learned an awful lot about you. I'm sure that nothing gives you greater pleasure than to see your wonderful family, particularly your grandchildren here. And we as a community watch the respect that you get from all of them. It's respect that you and Gertrude have earned, that you deserve, but it doesn't always happen. And your family is an example to us all. I just want to say that we have been extremely honoured that you have allowed it to be the Balfour Trust that has marked this occasion. I am delighted that we have been joined by so many people, particularly the representatives of the Greater Manchester Authorities. We as a community are blessed with the relationships that we have with all of you. It is very, very special to us, and we thank you particularly for being here. We are also blessed with the relationship that we share with other religions in the city. And the fact that you are here, Bishop, and that you are here, Monsignor Allen, also means a great deal to us. Thank you for the support. It is an example of how we can live together, of how we can be friends, of how we can make life better for each other, and we are grateful for that. As we have said, everyone here is special tonight. I hope that you've enjoyed it. Thank you for being with us, and thank you for making this what I hope will be, for both Sidney and Bill, a night to remember. Thank you very much. signing the book before, but Sir Sidney, and I know some of you are still waiting to have the book signed, Sir Sidney and Bill will be coming down. If anybody still wants to buy it, they will be around. I think there are still some sandwiches knocking around outside. Please eat them on the way out, or even take home a doggy bag. But do please continue to enjoy yourselves, and thank you again.